No brains, like, no brains at all. Literally no brains. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Frogs Hollow TV. My name's Toby Cooper and joining me once again from Harvey Bay's Hoppy. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Good, going well.
Good to see you.
So on tonight's episode, we'll review the weekend's Teagle Excavations Pines Enduro down there in South Australia.
That's a mouthful.
It is the 100 Rivmasta Warialda 200, and also look ahead to this weekend's Mount Larcom Short Course in Queensland and catch up with this week's special guest, Craig Barnett of Cougar Racing, which is going to be a good little insight. Hoppy, once again honoured to have the amazing support of our Frogs Hollow TV partners. So again, thanks to Comiskey Mining Services, Cougar Racing, Chapmans Performance Dyno Tuning, Central Desert Transport, Rangecon Mining Services, MR Trans, Innovative Interiors, to Rushtrucks, Broughton IGA, Racer Imports, Aussie Offroad Media, Show and Go Photography, KJN Electrical, and this week we have a brand new partner on board, Adam Trewalla of Borneo's Race Prep over there in WA.
Welcome to the show, guys.
I know how much Adam's late father loved Frogs Hollow, and it's special to have Adam on board.
What's not to love?
I know, it's hard not to love Frogs Hollow TV. Overwhelming the amount of support we've received in the last few weeks, and can't thank you all enough. Also to our amazing contributors for tonight's episode who have supplied the footage, to Clutch Life Media, Aussie Offroad Media, King Chrome, FWR Media, Toddy Lehman, Dave Chandler and Karen and Michael Napier for making this show, again, one not to miss. So straight into our first event review for the show, Hobby, the Teagle Excavations ARB Pines Enduro 400, which was the final round of the ARB Australian Off-Road Championship for 2024 down there in a very cold and wintry Millicent, I believe, for the first couple of days.
It looked it. I was watching on the Saturday morning and everybody was very, very rugged up.
Yeah, it looked pretty awful at
It
times.
was wet too.
But they said as the sun came out sort of Saturday afternoon and Sunday, the track was, I believe, perfect.
Oh, it was
those first few laps. And what a unique event though. You see those pines, 3 or 4 wide into some of them corners.
And they don't muck about. And the reverse grid,
that
makes it very, very interesting.
It is. Also, Hoppy, I must mention thanks to Mills Media Productions for the Millicent videos, and also Rural IT Solutions for the drone footage within the videos from Millicent last weekend. I did leave that out of our contributors earlier on, but thanks for those guys for providing some very sharp footage during the show. Straight out of the box, congratulations to Denny Brown, George Apted. 3 Pines victories in a row to win any event motorsport.
Yeah, and you picked it.
He's good, but I did pick Denny Brown. I thought him and Dale Martin had battled,
and
they were very close, only 28 seconds between the two. But Brown, in his twin-turbo powered Illumicraft, he finished 4th in the short course on Saturday. He led after Matty Hansen withdrew about halfway through lap 4. I think he then trailed into lap 6 by Dale Martin. He just put the go-go gas on and
just
blitzed the quickest lap of the final.
What did he say? He said there was no more turbo left.
No, that's
they
it.
boosted it right up, he was saying on the interviews, and he said there's no more to put into it.
Yeah, so hats off to Denny Brown. Dale Martin, as we said, Adrian Rowe in the navigator's seat. Continue their great 2024. They won also Punkeri at the start of the year. In AORC, they were in second. Couldn't pull in Danny Brown,
they couldn't pull him in. But it was sad to see a lot of people having troubles. Guys out the front, they were doing really, really well. And off road.
Those big national, any event, you always see a couple of the front runners have issues over the weekend. It's always going to be the way. Local charger Toddy Lehman, he was another one of the guys I sort of picked as a bit of a roughie in the it's an ex-OBR, Shane Elphinstone, Jimco. He had Tanner James in the navigator seat. They crossed in 3rd, so that'll be a good confidence booster for him heading into the 2025 season.
You bet.
He was only a few minutes off the pace of Dale Martin, so congratulations to him. Your pick, Hoppy, was Class 4 champion, young Kiwi. And I know I was commentating at Warialda, so I couldn't stay as tuned as I would have liked, but you said he was impressive.
He was. I was watching him on the Saturday in the short course there, and I Saturday was really hard for the guys in the trucks because it was wet, and those live axle rear ends on those things, they were struggling. They were really wet. But I tell you what, watching him, he was. There was a few times there he was in full flight and was like, oh, there he goes. It was pretty cool. It was really good to watch.
He's a talent, I'll tell you what.
Oh, he's going to be one to watch.
He's also in a Kalgoorlie in the AIC finale in a few weeks, so you never know. Boston Horn, he's got a few big wins ahead of him.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I reckon I'm picking him for an Australian champion in the future.
I'm looking forward to seeing him. Hopefully you get over at Think too. I think he'll do some damage up there.
My word.
But for me, Hoppy, the biggest story of the weekend in Millicent, unfortunately, was the lap-free retirement of Clayton Chapman. I was gutted. I nearly swallowed the microphone in disappointment, actually, for the Chapman guys.
That was cruel. That was cruel.
It was hard to watch.
It was, the unfortunate part with those guys is they're so full on with their motors and their prep, and that's what let them down. It was just they must have been absolutely gutted.
Yeah, big hole in the block, but that's racing. But it's still, like I said to Clayton after the race, still what a year, still his year. I mean, 2 wins, a second. He would have took that any time. It just shows with the ARB Championship, you have to finish all 4 rounds, and
that's right.
That's leading into the next point. Bo Robinson, 5th outright at Millicent, enough for his first Australian Championship. Been a long time coming.
Oh my word, it has. It's been a long time coming. He's been trying for a lot of years, and he's one of those guys that always just there and just never can quite grab the last step. So
huge
congratulations to him. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah, huge shout out to the ABR team. I had Jake Klukas in the navigator seat. Shane Hardy's regular navigator couldn't make it. Stuck in Sydney, had prior commitments, but see ABR top of the Australian Championship. It's a great achievement. Simon and Cole Tucker, the Streaky Bay father and son combo, finished Millicent in 6th, which was enough to secure the number 2 plate for the championship for next year.
Not bad.
That's in the Class 1 Southern Cross. So they were very happy with that. So shout out to the Tuckers and Matty Burrows and Jay Mitchell for the 2nd year in a row. 3rd outright in the championship, which is a great achievement.
Got to be happy with that.
Like you would have saw in the last show, Glenn Wells said the sure thing about this weekend at Millicent is Matty Burrows will finish. And I think he had he did have an issue, I can't remember, a throttle issue or something that held him back. Yeah,
that's right.
But he still finished, I think, 16th or something, and enough to secure that 3 plate. Other notable mentions for the 2024 ARB Championship, Craig Barnett and Steve Graham. Remarkably, 3rd straight Australian ARB Class Championship victories for those guys, Ultimate and Class 10.
Yep.
I mean, anytime you
do back-to-back, you got to be happy with that.
They go triple, so I mean, hats off to Craig, and I know how much those guys and also the Bowie's team in Griffith work. Brendan Forsman, the Class 2 champion. John Smith in the home-built Class 4 truck. He actually announced his retirement from Offroad at the presentation night.
Oh, really?
The Doc, as he's known down there.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he's been around since sort of mid-1980s, and he's based down there in South Australia, and sad to see him on the sideline. I know his son's done a bit of racing, so I'm interested to see if he takes up the helmet again. And Jackson Evans, we've seen what he's done this year in Class 6 in that Polaris Pro R. I mean, he was lightning quick. I think he was 9th outright at Millicent. He finished 4th outright in the championship in Class 6 honours. King Chrome,
you gotta love
big
that.
Steps.
He was doing well on Saturday.
He was driving hard.
He was driving real hard Saturday. I think he was sort of in the top 10 at one stage.
Finished 9th, massive achievement. Also to Darren Gill and Darren Vanderwood all claim their respective class wins for 2024.
Congratulations, guys.
As I said, shout out to Matty Hansen. I've been a good supporter of him over the years. He could nearly taste it. Well, it was a lap and a half off a victory. There's just something about there's something in the water of Matty Hansen at the moment. It's just not working out for him, but I know he'll stick to it. And he just showed on the weekend. He might be in those sort of mid-40s, but the man can still pedal. And that when that buggy's on song,
it's on song.
I think a torque converter hose come off
something about that. Something like that.
A little drama.
And that's the thing. It's always those little things that upset you.
As Danny Brown said, it was over a minute in front, so probably cost him the victory.
Yep.
So now to our special guest for the episode, Hoppy. Early in the week, I was lucky enough to catch up with one of our partners and now 3-time Ultimate ARB champion, Craig Barnett. Check it out. I'd like to welcome onto Frogs Hollow TV tonight, Craig Barnett, Cougar Racing, mate. Welcome.
Thanks, Toby. Yeah, much appreciated, mate. It's been a massive year.
It has. You're now a 3-time ARB Australian Ultimate champion. It must feel pretty special. But to get it done was, incredible.
Mate, we had the thought process. We've probably got the strategies and that, but to actually pull it off, especially with Clayton up the front there, and just amazing, to be honest. Just couldn't be happier.
And your weekend at Millicent, you was telling me a bit before, you had a pretty good run, one little incident, but a great event down there. The Millicent Sand Buggy Club ARB Championship just goes strength to strength, and yeah, great effort.
Oh, it does, mate. It's got to be the best event on the calendar for the spectators. Don't worry about the races. We are 10th outright, 5th in class. Had a pretty clean race. Had a little go bad on the fence there. Wrapped the back wheel up. Lost probably 10 minutes on Sunday. But fantastic event. Couldn't say enough. They did such a good job down there. It's a great race.
Yeah, definitely, mate. 100% agree. And for the rest of your 2024, you had a good start at Rainbow, backed it up with a solid finish at Hillston. And then I wasn't at Gundawindi, but I followed you closely. It was just one of those crazy weekends for you and your team. You always seem to have one of those weekends a year where things just don't start right, but you got it done, and I know you had a lot of people to thank for that weekend.
Right, it was our worst result for the year, but it was the best race we attended for the year. It was a tough one. We blew the converter, which probably wasn't anybody's fault, in the reconnaissance for the prologue. Yep. The team changed it out in 2.25 hours, myself included, and we made the prologue. Had a little bit of just a bad bounce and snapped the top arm in the heat on day one. Limped at home, but the highlight for me for the weekend was the sportsmanship, the camaraderie and the support from other races, that being notably the Chapman family and the Martin family.
Yeah.
Like they were running with equipment, big converters, welders, whatever, and obviously we're fierce competitors, and we all ended up in the top end of the show.
Yeah.
And mate, just a great effort from crew. It's why we race.
Yeah, definitely. It's the people in the sport that's what keeps us coming back. That was sort of one of my last points tonight. The way your team just get things done on and off the track. I mean, you've finished all 13 straight national level events since Hillston 2022. That's quite an incredible record. I know the people around you are those to thank, and I know what they mean to you and a big part of this success.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't go unnoticed to me because you learn by your mistakes, and we only started racing in 19, and we made a lot of mistakes. So we had a pretty quick learning curve.
Yeah.
And to do 13 on the trot from there, and that's not just driving, that's navvies, that's support, people, everything. It's a team effort. The drive was only a very small part of the whole event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So full credit to everybody.
And you give the old Great Northern Fridge your workout during the season and back home.
Mate, nothing's worked harder than that Great Northern Fridge, I'll tell you.
She's on overdrive.
Yeah. The only thing we got wrong here is at the minute we sponsor Great Northern.
Yeah.
We need to flip that around because we haven't got them on board. Perception's reality, but we're working hard on them. But
working on them.
Anyway.
Plans for next year? I heard you think the Towers built motorsport car that you got coming. Will that be ready for the Mac 1000 in December, or still a little off? Or
mate, it won't be. I was hoping it will be. I took it down to Adelaide and dropped it off on the way to Millicent.
Yeah.
I won't say sadly, but regrettably that won't be ready because we're obviously keen to get in that. So we'll run the old Southern Cross, excuse me, this year.
Yep.
But then obviously the Mac 1000 will be the first race next year. So the Towers machine will be there, and we're super excited about that. It's what Glenn's done there, and the boys is just next level.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait for that. When that 900 Ks we raced last year, that was just
big
insane. That's a proper test.
Yeah.
And if we can bang 2 of those 1000s between here and before the ARB rounds start again, I reckon we'll the whole team and himself will be ready to race.
Yeah, definitely. Just quickly before we do close, thanks to you and your family and your team for supporting Frogs Hollow TV. It's great to be back, giving the people sort of some off-road action and news around the grounds. And I mean, without people like you and obviously all our partners, it just wouldn't have been possible. So thank you.
No, mate. No, honestly, the work you're doing there and the exposure for it's all about the racing, obviously, and just the off-road scene. It's just fantastic, mate. No, full credit. Great thing. It's great to be part of it, and very excited. And let's just keep on doing it.
Yeah, big plans. Anyway, mate, thanks for your time. Congratulations again. A three-peat in ARB Australian Championship levels. awesome, and hopefully see it at the Mac 1000 in a couple of months.
Sounds good, mate. Look forward to it.
No worries,
Thank you.
mate. There we go. Craig Barnett, Cougar Racing.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Yeah, I say that we are. This is Rock Nation. Pledge your allegiance.
So another great bloke in our sport, Hoppy. I know he's been a huge supporter of this show. Done a lot of work for Craig over the last couple of years, and I'm sure we'll see him at the Mac 1000 in December. And now on to the Hunter Rivmasta Warialda 200, which was round 5 of the New South Wales Offroad Championship last weekend. It was a perfectly ran event in pristine conditions. It got a little bit dusty Saturday afternoon, but Derek and his men put a lot of water on it overnight, and Sunday was near perfect conditions, and had a really good weekend at Warialda, like you always do. And I think I only had about 38 starters for the weekend, and I mean, hats off. Michael Napier, Naps as he's better known in the off-road world. Stephen O'Toole, his navigator, first time in the Illumi craft.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a last lap dash. They literally got home from Brisbane around midnight Friday night.
Oh, wow.
With the car, panelled it up about 3 o'clock, hour and a half to Warialda. They got there just on daylight. I mean, and he's won the race. Hats off to Naps.
You like hearing those stories.
Interviewed him after the event. It took him 10 years to win his second Warialda title, and now he's gone back to back with the number 11, which is the ex-Terry Rose number, which Terry gave to Naps before he passed away a few years ago. And
that make it pretty special.
So it means a lot to Naps. And
Pretty
I
special.
interviewed him after the event, and he's never been a man for words in that sort of public eye, Naps, but he could really see what it meant to him, and
Awesome.
just give him some air, and another memorable weekend for Naps and his crew.
Nice.
Kempsey's Ben and Dylan Scott finished around a minute and a half behind Naps in second. I mean, they've really turned up the whip in 2024. They're sort of runaway leaders in the New South Wales Championship now with 2 rounds to go at Nabiac and Dongdingong.
You said they do well.
He surprised me. He's only been around for a few years now, but he's got the gym card, and it's perfectly tuned. And if you get to the finish line all these events, you're going to do well. It doesn't matter where you sort of sit in the outright standings. And then current New South Wales Chairman Dave Chandler, who we chatted to on the last episode, and navigator Jonathan Ryan. Another bloke that's got a lot to do with Warialda and its history, and obviously grew up there. His dad's from there, and mother's got history of the Rose family. But they crossed in third outright, and he finally cracked the Warialda curse, and they were all smiles on Sunday afternoon.
I bet. You love that.
Great achievement.
Well, good on him.
Craig Anderson, his new Can-Am R, finished in 4th. He said he was going to get the top dogs. He fell just short, but 4th outright in the Can-Am at a pretty tough long course event. It just shows you those new Can-Ams are going to do big things.
Oh, yes.
And also former New South Wales champion Aaron McClintock, one of the Sydney-based competitors, finished in 5th outright. Other mentions, Jamie Knight put on a bit of a show for the locals. He was impressive in his Chev Silverado trophy truck.
Yep.
He had a flat tyre in the last section, which sort of pushed him back to 6th, but
that's a shame.
he's having a great run all weekend. Richie Wilton, Dave Mendham, one of the veterans in Australian off-road racing, good old Dave. I should have seen him. He got out of the car there on Sunday afternoon. He's punching the air, and I effing love it. Words that come out of his mouth. He's a good man in the sport.
That's what the sport's about.
And what he said was interesting. He said, my sons that aren't even here would be more proud and more happy than I am. So that's what it means today, which is always cool. And Gabby Wills, she won the Extreme 4-wheel drive in a Nissan trophy truck. She competed well all weekend and got the class win.
Nice.
Also to Josh Howes, once again leading the way at Warialda, and literally a rock as he was in the lead on the first lap of the long course, come up and knocked damaged the crank ankle sensor, which we all know is big dramas. They managed to sort it out to get back into the pits, but that was their weekend over. It just seems like everything's against Josh at the moment, but
not having a good year.
Ride my word, once Josh wins an event, I think he's going to win a few in a row, because he's a clear talent. I think his brother and sister combination, and expect big things from the Howes Motorsports in 2025. Warrior's own Derek Wheely Rose finished in 8th, the showman. He broke a throttle cable on the first lap of the final section, right in our view, just around that first corner down the bottom. And I was commentating. I said, "Oh well, there's Wheely." Could see him running around like in a little rabbit warren. He was running around the car. Oh, he's a unit. He hosted all the Kempsey guys on the weekend, and
good on him.
Yeah, he's a legend out there.
Can't wait to
Wiki
meet him.
Rose, his brother, he returned in style. He's got that performance tour drive, the Navara, the ex-loader. He just drove the. Wait till I see him show his footage. He drove the doors off it. He was jumping. He was on 3 wheels, 2 wheels. He rolled it in the clover.
Oh, I know.
Everything. Anyway, they got going again, and I think he ended up breaking the drive shaft. So that was their weekend. But I mean, yeah, he's got potential. And just for those watching on, Wiki's first lap on the long course on Sunday was quicker than Derek's in the Southern Cross. That's how quick he was sending the Navara. There's only a few seconds in it, but Warwick can always hold that against him. Our young Nugget had a solid debut in his the Rivmasta, his first run in off-road. He broke a rear Heim joint on Sunday, which obviously ended his weekend, but he'll be back next year.
Unlucky.
And shout out to Jamie Saunders, one of Frogs Hollow's truck drivers there at the moment, Warialda guy. He navigated for the collie mare, Jason Ramian, who were having a good run till gearbox failure ended their charge. Yep. Always the way. There's always something in off-road.
That's it.
Also a shout out to Jacob Booth, who won last weekend's Alice Springs long course event, and to Andrew Bell in his Can-Am Maverick, who won the 3 Springs 400.
Yes.
Over in WA last weekend. Held off the pro cars. Adam Troll had an issue. Troy Shewan had an issue. I think Mark Kramer comes second. Yep. But we'll touch on more of that in the next episode of Frogs Hollow TV.
That area's where my wife's my wife's old stopping ground. That's where she's from, is over that way.
I reckon it's a great picture. The track was just perfect.
She said it's not bad country. It'd be good for racing.
I reckon it's beautiful over there. On a bucket list event.
Yep.
Now, straight into our event preview for the week. This weekend's relocated farm and garden Mount Larcom short course, which is a few hours north here of Harvey Bay. Yep. They were going to run out the road at Kilkee.
Yeah, Kilkee, that's right.
A few council issues there, but the Gympie Club,
sad.
like they do well. That's one thing about these Queensland clubs. They seem to be able to manoeuvre at last minute, like overnight. The last couple of years, if it's washed out, we'll just someone else will have
see it happen a bit.
They've
done it before, and they'll keep doing it.
So it's the 9th and final round of the ARB Mickey Thompson Queensland Off-Road Championship, hosted by, as I said, the Gympie Club. Headlined by championship leader Jan Cry in the Bat V8 car. Based out of
I like those guys.
He's a good man too.
He's a nice guy, really nice bloke.
He didn't plan to do all the rounds, but he finds himself around 40 points in front of Dave Luffman and also Drew Callanan in the Razorback. Yep. But you've got to finish all laps in the Queensland Championship, so it's still lots to play out there in the final round showdown. Stewie Chapman's also in the field. He had another unfortunate mechanical issue at Millicent, but I think he'll be definitely one of the ones to beat.
He'll be hard to beat there.
Derby winner Christian Trews in his patrol, Tyler Human in the team's Class 4 trophy truck, Richie Tazen, Kane Pritchett, Darren Barker, Russell Harnett, Kel Kruger. There's lots of potential there at Mount Larcom.
There's a lot of guys in that field that can bring that home quite 100%. Easily.
And you've been up there. I've been there. Well, you've raced,
I haven't raced it. My wife has. Erica raced it, and she reckons it's pretty rugged in places.
It's about 10k track, is it?
Yeah, I think it's a 10k, 10-15k track, something like that. Yeah. Big ruts out badly by the end of the weekend. That was one of the issues. Very dusty. Yeah. So hopefully they might get a little bit of rain this week to just settle it down a little bit, which would be nice for them. But it's a good fun track from all people have been saying and telling us.
So 65 points on the line this weekend, and only 40 separating first and third. Hoppy, it's going to be a very interesting week in Central Queensland. I'm going to go. I think Richard Tasman. We saw Zach Marsh win the event last year. I think Richie can finish the year in style. And I'm going to go. I think Young Cry, if he finishes, will win the championship. But if something happens, I think Drew Callander might pounce and win the title. But what are your thoughts?
For the weekend, I agree with you with Jan and Tasman with Richard, but. My roughie's young Tyler. I know young Tyler, and I've watched him race a lot. Watched him race from right from the beginning, and he's just getting better and better and better. And now he's in Dad's trophy truck,
which he can push a bit harder. And
I reckon he's one to watch.
Roughie, yeah.
My word.
I think Christian Truce in the patrol. I'll tell you what, he's a crazy man on the wheel, and Steve Kildy I think's in that Class 4 truck, so it'll be an entertaining weekend out there. A bit of a shame we can't get up there.
Yeah, tell me about it. We can't make it either, so good luck to everybody up there this weekend.
Yeah, safe racing. So before we finish tonight, I just want to make a little Frogs High announcement. My partner and I have made the difficult decision to relocate back to New South Wales in the next week. So this will be our last show from Harvey Bay. Hoppy, mate, it's been a blast. Thank you.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
We'll definitely continue to have you involved with the show in the coming months,
We'd love
years.
to.
We'll get you involved, even if it's every fortnight, just for a few words. And I believe you and I hopefully will be sharing the commentating duties at the Mac 1000 in December.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, that's the plan.
Bring your swimmers, I reckon. I have to find a dam out there
Oh,
somewhere.
you know, it's going to be nice and warm. There's no doubt about that.
Might have to see Sequoia and hopefully get a little aircon hut or something out there. But a few coldies. We'll be right.
Dead right.
So yeah, this won't be the end of Frog's High though, I can ensure that. We will continue on. I'm not exactly sure of the plans yet, but stay tuned for more announcements in the coming weeks. So that's a wrap on tonight's show. Thanks for joining us once again. It's another big weekend ahead with the Queensland finale. Good luck to those heading to Mount Larcom. But more importantly, stay tuned for the next episode of Frog's High TV. Cheerio.
Catch us all later. It's been a privilege.
Thanks, man. Cheers.